It sounds like he's speaking of worship here as giving someone the respect that's owed to them. By his definition then, if you have respect for your living parents, and so you say thank you to them, are you worshipping them? I would say no. But if I was to set up a shrine to my parents, that would be a different story. And people do that in places like Vietnam for their ancestors, and they call it ancestor worship. This is where they basically set up some sort of shrine to their ancestors, and they'd bow down or kneel to their images. They would offer gifts to them. They would pray to them for guidance or protection. They would hold ancestor veneration days. They would place their trust in their ancestors for help with blessings and health. And they'd see their ancestors being able to intercede with the divine and even give their ancestors special titles like Great Protector or Honored One. And I think any Christian looking at that would say, that's just wrong. That's idolatry.
The main problem with Ryan's objection is that he takes a practice that is superficially similar to veneration of Mary and the saints, and then says this proves both are illicit forms of worship. But they're only similar in aspects that are good, and they're dissimilar in the bad aspects. For example, there's nothing wrong with keeping an image of a deceased relative in your home. You might even put flowers next to it and light a candle. You might remember your relative on the day of their birth or their death and honor their memory with your own titles for them, like number one grandpa. Idolatry is also when a person treats a creature as if the creature were the creator and give that creature honor due to God alone. But asking a deceased relative to pray to God for you is not idolatry. At worst, it's superstition. But Ryan has made no argument to show that we cannot, through God's almighty power, seek the intercession of loved ones in heaven, just as we seek their intercession when they're here on earth. Ryan might say that's not possible, but that's far different than saying such an act is idolatry. In Exodus 20:12, God says to honor your mother and father, and the verse uses the Hebrew word kabed. The same word is used in Proverbs 3:9, which says, honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your produce. Obviously, the Bible doesn't say parents and God should be treated equally, and we don't offer sacrifices to our own parents. But children should recognize their parents' worth or their worthship. Since the word worship has changed in meaning, it feels awkward to say we worship our parents. But we do honor our parents, and Catholics honor the saints and Mary. If the word worship is what bothers you, fine, let's drop that. My whole point was that we should not use statements if we disagree on the meaning of the key terms in the statement. St. Paul said in 2 Timothy 2:14, avoid disputing about words, which does no good, but only ruins the hearers.